Hi everyone, my name is Trevor Gordon. I'm a content creator, I'm an event planner. I have a podcast named Genuine Enthusiasm. I am really excited and honored to be doing an interview with Nicole Haber. I read in a bio, it's Nicole with a hey, not a ha on the Haber. It's a Nicole with a hey, not a ha. Nicole Haber. Nicole Haber. So let me read Nicole's bio. Nicole Haber is a gender-fluid, pansexual, electric pop punk artist from Toronto, Ontario, making waves with their infectious energy and raw authenticity with over 500K listeners worldwide and 1.7 million streams across platforms. Nicole's audience continues to expand, solidifying their place as one of the most exciting emerging artists in the scene. As a singer-songwriter and top-line recording artist, Nicole has collaborated with an impressive lineup of international DJs, producers, artists, including Ryan Worsley, who's an award-winning Juno-nominated producer, Baker Grace, multi-million streamed recording artist. Like, so much is going on in this bio. I love it. Beyond their own artistry, Nicole is also a mentor and a coach, guiding up-and-coming artists in songwriting, top-lining, performance, and the fundamentals of artistry. Known for their quirky, relatable lyrics and high-energy dance pop production, Nicole has delivered standout tracks like Poison, named one of the best songs of the year by CBC Music 2022, and 25, a quarter-life crisis anthem, praised by Clout as a pure pop bop. While rooted in electronic music, Nicole has now embraced a pop-punk evolution, drawing inspiration from icons like Pink, Avril Lavigne, Paramore, Olivia Rodrigo, fusing rebellious edge with their signature, authentic sound. Wow, this is a bio, let me tell you. A natural-born performer, Nicole has a magnetic stage presence that electrifies any crowd. They've played to sold-out audiences, including a headlining show at the Bar Cathedral, and shared the stage with major acts like Lights at Toronto Pride. Their resume also includes the Markham Village Music Festival. Their music has received widespread support. Currently, Nicole is focused on creating new music while connecting daily with fans through TikTok streams, live shows, global collaborations. Nicole is fucking amazing. Nicole is fucking amazing, let me tell you. This bio is wow. So do you think we should do an interview with her now, or should I go home? Oh wait, I am home. Should we bring Nicole out? Should we bring Nicole out? So let us bring Nicole out.
Hi.
Nicole,
Yes.
I need to take a nap from top. Your bio is so big, so amazing, so I can't even tell you. I've never read a bio so much like this. You got a couple of things, Nicole.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just turning you up here. Give me one
Yeah,
second.
take your time settling. I need a breather to just get over that outstanding bio. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just came
So,
off of a live stream of myself, so I'm just getting calm, cool, collected.
yeah.
You're having a drink. I'm having my drink.
Okay, well, let me just get my, for TikTok management, this is water, and we're just gonna toast each other.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers. I'm trying to be goofy and jokingly, but seriously, that's a beautiful, outstanding, impressive bio.
Thank you. Thank you. It's years in the making. I mean, like, when you're a new artist, it's really tough to kind of figure out what to put in the bio. And as you grow, you're just like, wow, I actually have too much stuff to put in there now. So I've been doing this for at least 5 years professionally. So
Well, I have a couple questions to ask you. Are you ready?
yeah.
All right. So, right out the gate, who are your biggest musical influences, and how have they helped shape your sound?
So I'd say for me, my original like influence was Shania Twain. When I was young, she was like everything for me. I remember she was my first concert. I was like maybe 11 and she was my first concert. I knew every single song, and my mom and I, like, we grew up on country music, which is crazy because I don't make country music at all. So, I ended up loving that, but I loved the lyricism and the confidence that she gave. So that's where like my lyrics and the confidence kind of comes from. But then through that, I really loved Marianas Trench. Like I said, Pink, Paramore, new age artists, more like Rev. That's somebody who's really influencing my music. Elenium for my electronic side. Elenium is one person I dream to work with and write with. So I'd say there's many influences because I say in the bio, I'm an electro pop punk artist. There's a lot to unpack. So it's like a lot like the lyricism comes from one place, the electronic comes from one place, the pop punk comes from another place. You know, all of that stuff comes together and made me.
Awesome. I appreciate it. That's a really good answer. And I'm excited about this interview because if you're just giving this for all the questions, we're going to have a great interview.
Yeah.
And I apologize in advance. There are going to be a couple questions that might sound like I'm saying the same thing, but it's just that I want to get specific, sound bites out of you. So it might sound like I'm asking you a similar question, or you might have answered it in a previous, but I just really want to emphasize certain things, okay? So I'm curious about your journey. Assuming you had school and a job probably while becoming a musician, tell me about your day-to-day of that.
So I kind of had a twisty turn journey. Like I've always thought like new music was the thing. Music was always the thing. But when I was a kid, like I started writing at a really young age. I started playing music. When I went to high school, I actually ended up going and graduating with specialist high skills major for arts and culture. So people always laugh, but I literally in my grade 12 year, I had musical theater class, dance class, drama class, music composition, a 2-credit co-op with my drama and music teacher, and then a vocals class, and then English. And that was it. That was my final year in high school, and it was amazing. And so for me, art has been the thing since I was a young kid, and I always wanted to be a singer. But when I went into high school, I kind of shifted gears a little bit because I got a writer's block that lasted like 6 years, 6 full years. Like it was brutal. I couldn't write anything. I don't know why. It just wasn't a thing. And I ended up moving to the musical theater world, and I ended up doing college for musical theater. I went to Randolph Academy in Toronto for arts, and basically they do a triple threat program.
I was just going to say that I know that school very well. It's a triple threat school.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. It's so you have to. I'm an okay dancer, and I thought I was an all right actor, but you have to be like a good singer, a good actor, a good dancer. They teach you film, television, and stage. From there, I learned so much, and I actually developed a love for makeup artistry too while I was there. So a lot of different random things happened. I started doing film and television and theater and everything, but it never fulfilled me enough. I guess like the best way to put it is it just never was enough for me. And as much as I wanted to do more, I wanted to make the film world work, but I just didn't gel in it 100%. I wanted to make theater work, but it was too much for like, I found that it was just too much work for not enough of a heartfelt payoff, right? So I did a lot of stuff. I did a lot of dance related stuff. I did a lot of theater, a lot of film. Until finally my agent was like, Nicole, you're doing too many things. You're a makeup artist. You're a musician. You're an actor. You're a dancer. You have a day job. Like you're doing too many things. Pick what you want to do. And at that time, my manager's name was Michael Jackson, which was awesome. It was awesome. So I looked at him, I said, Michael Jackson, I'm going to be a musician. And from there, that was when I decided, and it was, I think, 2020, when I officially quit everything else. And don't get me wrong, I still dabble here and there when I can. Like I still do the odd commercial or I do the odd little musical theater thing, whatever. And I still utilize that stuff in everything. Like the school I went to helped me so much with my performance on stage, you know. So now I'm a well-versed performer. You know, all the film acting makes me a great actor for my music videos, and everything works really well together. And I can utilize all that. But ultimately, it led me to being a musician, and then over time, I started streaming, and now I actually get to say I live the dream, and I do music full time without any other job.
All right. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And for those that are just joining us, we are interviewing Nicole Haber, not Haber, Haber. And please make sure you give Nicole a follow, give myself a follow. The way to support this live awesome content is by double tapping the screen, clicking that share button. But most important, make sure you give my awesome guest a follow on TikTok. Not that they need my help. Million follows this awesome person has. So make sure you give Nicole a follow. Do you recall, what is your earliest memory of you and music? Do you recall a childhood memory of listening to like a specific song, maybe a concert memory? Like just that, I'm combining 4 or 3 questions into one question here. But do you recall that first moment when you knew that singing is what you wanted to do as a career? That sort of goosebump moment.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure you can relate to this. I'm sure you have a core memory that every so often it comes back and you're like, that's the thing, right? When I was a kid, I remember doing this little fashion show. But it turned like we had to have a talent portion of the fashion show. So it was me and my younger cousin, who's I think maybe like 4 or 5 years younger than me. But I will never forget, her and I did this little fashion show, and we had a talent portion, and I was like, I'm gonna sing, and she's like, I'm gonna sing too, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's do like a Britney Spears number, and we kind of did like a together moment, and we had this little, do you remember those stupid little toys that were like the singing karaoke things that you just like press it and it's like a fake speaker? It's so ridiculous. But I remember like we played the song and we were out there both with plastic little mics, just being like our little rock star selves. And my mom, I remember, looked at me and was just like, wow, you're actually really talented. Like, not to say, my cousin's also super talented. She's an actor. She's an amazing actor. She's great at what she does. But for me, like my mom kind of said to me, she was like, you're gonna do this. Like, this is really good. And I remember that because I was like, wow, I am good. I like what I do. And from that moment, like I was probably like 4 or 5. I was already singing. Like I always had a passion. No one in my family sung at all. Like no one in my family's artsy at all. But for me, like that moment, I was just like, I like this. I think I want to do this. And I remember that same night my mom said to me, you know, you're going to do something with this. She also looked at me and said, what do you want to be? And I said, I want to be a pop star. I want to be a rock star. I want to be a pop star. I want to be on big stages. And I remember so clearly just like going into it saying, this is it. This is what I want to do and I will do it. Now, 28 years of my life and here we are, you know?
So, do you remember that first concert you went to and like you just went on and looked at that stage and be like, I can do that. That's me. I can be on that stage. I like basically, you know how there's always that vision board. They always tell you like the secret. You
Yeah.
put it out there in the world. Like you know, you were looking at that stage and you were like, that's me. I can see myself on that stage.
So like I said, my first concert was Shania Twain, but I didn't look at that concert as a I want to do that kind of situation because that was terrifying. That was like the old Rogers Center. That was huge. It was scary. It was terrifying. And I was just like, oh my God, this would be amazing, but holy moly, this is scary, right? And I know for me, it was more when I went to go see musicals that was kind of the nail on the head. Because I didn't really want to perform on a stage until I saw a musical for the first time. And I was like, wow, I don't remember what musical it was, but it was later on in my life. It was like into my high school years. And I remember just watching these people perform. And I was like, wow, they just take up such a space and they own that energy. And there's something different to be said from like a singer on stage versus a musical theater performer on stage. And what I try to do as a performer is like integrate the two, because it's not just a show. It's a show. Like it's a performance. It's a story, right? But I remember seeing the emotion that came out of it and the way it felt and the way I was just like, oh my God, I need this. I like this. I want that. And I watched these people perform this whole show. And that's when I kind of switched from music over to musical theater. And to this day, I go see musical theater performances and I'm just like, oh, that'd be so cool. Music performances, I go and I'm like, I could do that. I could do that. I could maybe do that a little bit better. Like my brain is overconfident for the performer side of it. But when it comes to theater, I'm like, oh my God, that's beautiful, you know?
Awesome. So again, if you're just joining us, be sure to give my awesome guest a follow on TikTok. Continue to double tap the screen. And more importantly, there is a share button on the bottom of the screen. Click on that share live button. Let's get as many awesome people here. Now I'm going to play one of your songs that I've been cranking all day. And I just want you to comment on it. We're going to play a little bit. We're going to let it breathe a little bit. And I want to hear some of your honest reaction from it.
Amazing. Don't you dare think you know what's going on behind closed doors. There's an off-course loner who's never lived there before. She's got her weapons ready, thoughts and steady, her weight on her shoulders, it's getting kinda heavy. Have you ever thought to ask how she's been? It gets better, it takes time. The same shit we've been hearing our whole life. There has to be an easy way. You know way, 'cause when you're here at bottom, there's nowhere deeper to go. And it can all be lost, no matter what you do to recover.
That was Rock Bottom, and everyone, as I was playing that song, the chat is getting active. Rock Bottom, an original by Nicole Haber, is out now. You have you have your street team here, excited and really proud of that song. But I need to dive into that. The question I wanted to ask about that was, what made you specifically hit rock bottom? How did it make you feel to come out on the other side of the rock bottom? Like,
well,
yeah.
Immediately, it's crazy. Like as soon as you play that song, my chills just like goosies immediately come, and I immediately want to cry. I almost started crying, and I was like, not today, not today, because it's a very, very emotional song for me. And I know it is for a lot of the people who listen to it as well. Like I know that this song hits so many people so close to home. For myself, like I hit my rock bottom, I want to say about 5-6 years ago. It was during COVID, and I'm very open about this. I'm always open about it. I ended up hospitalizing myself twice because in the span of like a few months, I lost the person I thought I was going to marry. I found out he was extremely abusive. He took my dog, kicked me out of my apartment. My dad was really sick and almost passed away. And then my best friend, because I kind of fell into some shitty tendencies, she ended up ditching me after 20 years of friendship. And then COVID happened. So like my world imploded. I've been depressed. I've always struggled from depression. I've always struggled with anxiety. I suffered panic attacks and all that. And for myself, I've always kind of pushed it aside and pushed it away. But it wasn't until that moment that I was like, oh my God, like everything is hitting all at once. Everything is just, I don't want this anymore. And for me, after the 10 years of forcing my depression to stop bothering me and being like, get out, leave me alone, I don't want it anymore. You know, I snapped. I completely snapped. I tried to do something that I'm not proud of, and I immediately called an ambulance, and I admitted myself to the psych ward twice. to get the help that I needed, because that was like the worst feeling ever. And I say it in the song where you feel like you've been there before, but the wound splits a little bit deeper and it's harder to ignore at that point. And when I was in that rock bottom, I never wanted to feel that again. And I wouldn't wish that feeling on my worst enemies. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, because I just didn't see a point to anything. And yeah, I just felt like beyond low. And I remember when I wrote that, I didn't write the song until a few years later. So I was in that space, I was in that moment, and it took me a very long time to recover. And I promised myself I will not allow myself to get to that point again. I will never get to that point, because you just feel like a shell of a human being. And then it took some time. I healed. I spoke with people, therapists, social workers, medications, did all the things that I loved. And then a couple of years later, I wrote the song. And a lot of people think I wrote it when I was in it, but I actually couldn't access those feelings until I healed. So I always like to tell people, you need to grow first before you feel actually changed. And I know for me, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I didn't realize I ended up happy. I was in this dark, low point, and then all of a sudden one day I was okay. And I ask every day, like to keep my followers, my fans, I say, hey, are you okay today? Just a yes or a no, because it's good to just check in with yourself. And when you're like, oh my God, I'm okay today, it's a really good feeling. And if you're not, you're like, okay, tomorrow's going to be better. But I wrote that song actually in a place of freeness. And when I was in rock bottom, it was the worst. But when I wrote rock bottom, I was in the best. And I was actually the happiest I'd ever been. And I was able to say, okay, I'm going to write this, and it's no longer mine. I'm going to get it out of my head. It is now someone else's to utilize and be like, okay, somebody has gone through this. Somebody is also here doing this with me, and they've gotten through it. So it's my turn to get through it. And I'm going to use that song for that. But it feels amazing when you get out of it. Like, it feels so good on the other side,
That was beautiful. The one thing I would add to that, and it's cliche maybe, but when you're on an airplane, the flight attendant always tells you, if something happens with the plane, you put the face mask on your face first. So it's basically, it's not a selfish thing, but you need to heal yourself. You need to take care of yourself first before you help the people around you.
100%.
So you were in a situation, you got yourself out of it, and then that's when you made this beautiful music, rock bottom. Yeah. But you were able to take a step outside of your body, so to speak, to write this song, which is helping other people right now.
And I wouldn't say that's cheesy at all. I've actually never heard that. Like, that's a really smart thing, where it's just like, you got to be able to take care of yourself. And I've actually had this situation happen with one of my supporters. They're worried about their kids. And I'm like, your kids aren't going to have you if you don't take care of yourself, because that's the thing. I was so worried about everybody else's happiness that it took so long for me to actually check in with myself. And like, the whole "are you okay" thing, it's actually kind of selfish. I don't do it for other people. I do it for me, because it makes me have to check in. And I click yes or no pretty much every time I do it. So it's like, you have to take that time to heal before you can address it and talk about it and like be comfortable enough to be like, I don't think 5 years ago I'd be able to talk to you like this about it. I would not be able to open up about it or write a song like that. And I know it's depressing, I know it's sad, but at least it's uplifting and makes you realize that there's so many people who go through it. So many people.
Wow. Well, let's take a step out. And I did take a moment to do some research, and I gathered a couple questions from your fans. And I also gathered a little bit of feedback that I want to share with you.
I'm a little nervous. I don't know what my fans are asking.
So Papa Dave.
Ooh, hi Dave.
Papa Dave, who I now was watching, Papa Dave has been watching since the start of this interview, was kind enough to give me a follow. Papa Dave says, I find her music always evokes an emotion from a back the fuck up or you're not alone. She conveys conveys the emotion, and voice is so good it brings up the mood. They is also a good person and cares about people.
Dave, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh, thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. I gotta shout out Dave real quick though, because Dave has actually been with me with my live streaming journey since day one, and he's never missed a single live stream. He's been here every single day, and that just means the world to me. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, when I put out that post to gather some feedback for this interview, Papa Dave was the first to reach out and share that feedback. So I thank you, Papa Dave, for helping me with this interview. Miles wanted me to share, your music is honestly amazing. Miles wanted to share that with you.
Thank you, Miles. Oh my gosh, I get so nervous when people give me compliments. So I'm like, hang on, let me get the ooh kind of face. But no, thank you, Miles. I don't know if Miles is watching this, but if you are, much love. I appreciate you.
My friend, this is a friend of mine, Cam. He would not be embarrassed for me to share this fact. He's an epilepsy warrior. He has epilepsy. He lives in the United States. He's a proud warrior, a proud ambassador. He asks, what's up with the purple hair? I love the purple hair. Purple is a big color in our epilepsy world.
Yeah.
I also work in an epilepsy organization, Nicole.
Yeah.
Purple is a big color for us. I know that might not necessarily be why you did it, but Cam wants to know, what's the deal with the purple?
So I actually didn't know that the epilepsy color is purple until I met you. So thank you for educating me, because I had no idea. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but I've dyed my hair every single color except like a yellow. That's the only color I have not dyed my hair. I have done everything from gradients to split dyes. I have had long hair, short hair, blue hair, pink hair, green hair, white hair. I've had everything. Purple has always just always been the crowd favorite, but also like I've always loved it. I think it looks good on me and it's easy to handle and easy to maintain. But I just like the way it makes me feel. It feels electric, it feels big, it feels bold, it feels exciting. It feels like my personality, where it's not too girly. It's got a little bit of girliness to it, but it's also kind of badass and rock star-ish. So it's like a nice balance of look at me, pay attention to me, but I style it like chill, so it's not like too much over the top.
And someone watching, Amy Lynn, says, I have epilepsy along with other multiple health conditions. So Emily, we can talk offline. Cam is in the chat. Connect with Cam. You can connect with me offline. I would love to connect you to an epilepsy organization in your area to get you any support, only if you need it. Epilepsy organizations are there for you as little or as much as you need them. So,
may I just add on to that fact as well, if that's okay? Also, anybody, and I'm going to make this a general broad statement so that I'm not calling out anybody in particular, but if anybody's having any sort of mental health struggles or going through anything, my community, we call ourselves the Haberhood. My community is an open and safe space on TikTok. I know Trevor's is as well. And if you need help, you can always reach out, especially when it comes to the epilepsy. But if you just need to kind of get away from it all, get away from life and find a safe space with positive people who are there to get your back and help you, please toss a follow, join in, help us help you. Because I know a lot of the people in my community struggle with that stuff. And if I can help somebody, that's what I do this for. If I can help you get through it, that's all I do this for. So
now I do a sunrise over Lake Ontario broadcast every morning. I'm going to put Nicole on the spot right now that I want Nicole to sing the Canadian anthem.
Right now?
Podcast around maybe Nicole will be sleeping, but we want to get Nicole up around 7 a.m. And when the sun is just getting to that beautiful point over Lake Ontario, I want Nicole to sing the Canadian anthem to all our fellow Canadians and our friends in the U.S. and the world. I want Nicole to meet a lot of the positive people one morning. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow.
You let me know. Because I got to plan ahead of time. I don't wake up early.
That's fair. My people will talk to Nicole's people. We'll figure out we'll figure out the logistics. Kate sometimes has a question for you.
Huh?
What is one original song that you feel just doesn't get enough love?
So many, so many, too many songs. As an independent artist, they're all really good. There's two that I don't feel get enough love. Dear Past Self is one of them. I think Dear Past Self is such a beautiful song with like an incredible instrumentation matched with amazing like lyrics. But not only that, there's a gorgeous music video that we made for it, and it has not been seen at all. And I tried to push it, I tried to get it out there, but it just never got the traction that I felt it deserved. So if you want to go listen to a really good song, check out Dear Past Self. And then there was one other one that I would say is really, really great, but doesn't get enough love. And that is, can I think of the title right now? Too many songs. R&J. R&J is another really good one. I don't typically write love songs. That's kind of like my back burner, my back burner thing. I write about life, real shit, not bullshit. But I finally wrote like a love song about my partner and I, and it's a modern take on new age love stories and on like it's like a modern take on a fairy tale basically. So it's kind of just like all the Cinderella stuff might not be 100%, but my favorite line in the song is a Cinderella story, damsel dressed and stressed. Not like a damsel in distress. No, I'm a damsel that's dressed in stress. And I love it. It's such a good, fun, quirky song. The music is great. And I feel like those are the two songs that deserve just a little bit more.
As you were talking, Eva was insistent on saying Nicole is such a great and hard worker and can put anything that you can put your mind to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Papa Dave wants to shout out R&J.
Hey, it's a good song. Honestly, it's just like a really fun song. The lyrics were the best to write. I wrote them with a good friend of mine, and I was like, these are awesome. And then when the song didn't do as well as I thought it was, I was like, guys.
Well, this segues to my next snippet of a song. We're going to play 25.
Hey, there it is.
Haven't seen my friends in months. Haven't gone out that much. Haven't had a lot to say. No one knows if I'm okay. Been slightly MIA. And if I'm being real, shit's just been so awkward out here. Got no money, hate my job. Have no one to call my love. But I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm just happy I'm alive. And I think I'm doing alright. So what's wrong with that? Can't you be fine with that? Slow your rolls, get ready to go. Live your life, you already know. Throw your hands up to the sky. Here's to being 25. Hold your head up, don't stare at the ground. You don't know the pain I still found. Grab a drink, hold it up. Cheers to being 25.
Everyone's jamming to that song. So give me your mindset when you were in the studio with that one. Talk to me about that song.
So this song actually is like the most typical song like that I've ever worked on. It's like one of those things where like you imagine what it feels like to be in a studio writing a song and creating something with somebody. This to me is like a movie picture. Like this is what writing music feels like. I was in the studio with a friend of mine, John Karkar, who's produced a couple of my songs, and his friend Simon Cerveda. And he asked me to come out. John said, hey, would you want to come and just do a writing session? Like, I love your writing. I'd love to have you in the room and see if we come up with anything. Like, we're just messing around. I said, okay. I'm at this nice big studio. I find out this Simon guy is like really well known, a big YouTuber or something. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I'm in a good, nice studio right now. And I'm laying on the couch, like kind of just chilling. They're making the beat. And I'm like, ooh, this is a vibe. I like this. I like this. And then John looks back at me. He goes like really quickly too. He goes, how do you feel right now? I'm like, what are you, my therapist? I'm laying on a couch and you're asking me how I feel. But I said, what, in what sense? He's like, what's the track making you feel like? What's life happening? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like this is just like a fun song about life. Cause all we had was the ooh, 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 like part. And I was just like, I don't know. It just feels like fun and like something like you want to talk about like life in a way that's like not average. And he's like, okay, well, what's going on in your life right now? I said, dude, I'm 25, literally nothing. I was like, I'm a mess all the time. And I started listing off all the things that being 25 felt like. And I was just like, I have no money. I hate the place I work. I hate everything. I'm not quite, I'm past that, my young 20s. I'm too old to do this, but I'm too young to be that. And I can't afford a home and blah, blah, blah. And I went into this tangent, as I do often. And he just looked at me. He's like, this is perfect. He's like, write that. And I started coming up with like little song quips, and we started just coming up with like little moments. And then I think I came up with the chorus first, where I was like, slow your rolls, get ready to go. And then it's like, cheers to being 25, because we were drinking in the studio too. So I was like, cheers to being 25. And he's like, that's the song. I think that was what kind of caused us. I can't remember 100%, but I was coming up with the chorus. And then I was like, man, cheers to being 25, right? And he's like, that's the hook. That's it. That's it. And yeah, it ended up just being like I felt like I was a real pop artist in that moment, because I was like, wow, we just got together. We wrote this song. We were talking about my shitty life. And it's an amazing song. I love it. And I feel like it's timeless. Whether you're 15 or 55, you can relate to it. Like, tell me, Trevor, can you relate to the song when you listen to it?
I mean, I might be a little bit older than 25, but
It's okay.
I still relate to it now, I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't feel like it's ever, like, it still relates to me, and I'm much older than 25. Now, I have this little joke that I always say when somebody asks me my age. I'm like, I have a song called 25, so I'll be 25 forever, That's just what it is. But even now, like, I'm coming up to my 30s, and I'm just like, yeah, it's the same shit, just a different day. Like,
you're gonna have to come up with like a remix or an updated version for 30 and then 40 and then 50.
Yeah. But it's funny because that song, it's especially this year because it's 2025. It's kind of timeless and it works perfectly for this year. But even at my shows, like I sometimes will manipulate the last, because it goes, yeah, I'm just 25. She's living her best life. That bitch, she's 25. But sometimes I'll make up like, that girl, she's 26. She's living in the six, or some stuff like that. Like I'll always revamp it and bring it up to the year that I'm at. 27 was tough, so I couldn't do it as often. But now that I'm 28, this girl, she be 8,
Nicole did the hair flip too. If you're just joining us, we are talking to Nicole. Music is on Apple Music, on Spotify, on YouTube. If you're new to the live, please make sure you follow my awesome guest on TikTok, Nicole. I'm going to be selfish. Make sure you follow me.
Yes.
We'll tap the screen. There is a share button. Share the live with 15 of your awesome TikTok friends to bring them into this interview. Important question for you, Nicole. What are your thoughts of the music industry as a whole, the way we consume music, social media, Apple Music, Spotify, how you are with TikTok? I watch your lives. I'm not just here as the interviewer, the host. I'm a fan of you. I watch your lives. You are so amazing with your people on TikTok. What are your overall thoughts of the music industry? It's like 5 questions.
Yeah. You notice I look over to the side because I had to think about it. I mean, if you asked me that question a couple years ago, I think my answer would have said, I hate it. But now I'm at a totally different place with social media and the industry. I love the industry. I think that the progression, I know that a lot of people might fight me on this comment, but I love the evolution of AI in music. I've utilized AI to help with a lot, not like to help me make music, but obviously as a tool to help grow as a person and as an artist. I think that it's easier for people to get themselves out there, get themselves seen, make this a career. It's the easiest it's ever been to be like a self-proclaimed or a self-made success. I know for myself, I've always been on my own. I've always been my own team. I've had a creative team for a long time, but I've never had a business team. I'm the one who takes care of all my business. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have the access that I have now in the industry. Now, do I think labels can be kind of shady? Absolutely. Can managers be shady? Absolutely. You know, is there a problem as well with people overusing AI in the music industry? 100%. As a female in the industry, do I feel like I'm represented enough? Yes, but also not in the best way at all times. You know, like there's so many pros and cons to it. And at the same time, like I'm happy, I'm flourishing. I love social media. I think that if you can find your pocket and if you can find a way to love it and not dread doing it, it can be really fun. You can find your communities, you can grow, you can create. Like there's so much that can snowball from just loving what you do and creating something that makes it on the platforms. It's obviously a lot of work and a lot of people hate it because it's stressful and you're a slave to the algorithm. But if you can kind of figure it out, it makes it so much easier. So I'd say like I love the way we're going. I love the direction that the music is taking. I think that, you know, with more work, it's going to get even better. And for the average artist, it's easy to get yourself out there now. It is still very tough to get yourself mega big, but you can do that. So I say, yeah, that's what I would say about it. I think I answered most of the questions in there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I watch you on TikTok. You're really good with your friends, your followers, your friends, your fans, more importantly, your fans. Obviously, your music's on Apple Music and Spotify. I think you're outstanding with social media. Obviously, I was looking at your website. I was looking at your YouTube channel. I guess it's just, I also think it's generational because I feel I asked that question with someone who is a little bit older than you, and his answer was different. And there's no right or wrong to this question, but basically, you know, he's noticed obviously a difference from his world of vinyl records and, you know, going to HMV and buying a record and
I do miss HMV. I can honestly say I do miss that. But like I agree with you 100%. Like I unfortunately though wasn't in the industry for those times, so I can't attest to those times. I do remember going to HMV. I had CDs, records, all that stuff, cassettes. Like my mom had those. But for me, like that's not. I never grew up on that. I don't know how easy or how hard it was, but I can honestly say from what I've heard, trying to get yourself even just like a song made or something out there was near impossible unless you had somebody backing you. Nowadays, it's like if you want to grab a laptop, a DAW, and make a song, you can do that. And honestly, it can just blow up, and that's it, and that's amazing. Now, do I think everybody who blows up is ready to blow up? No. Not always. You know, sometimes people make stuff that's like they blow up and they don't know what to do with it. I know for myself, it's always been a slow but steady growth. And even with the live streaming, I've never gone viral. I've never had a big hit, but I've always seen an incline. And that's just from hard work, dedication, and putting that time in. And also trying to just like constantly learn. You got to learn. But unfortunately, life, you adapt. That's it. You know, unfortunately, you can't stay in the past as much as we'd like to stay there. We got to accept it. We got to move forward. And I think my brain used to be in it needs to be this way, but now I'm just like, if it works, roll with it, keep going, you know?
I'm so excited to ask you this question, and I saved it to this part of the interview. It was actually the first question I wrote down in my notes, and then I added the rest of the questions after.
Yeah.
This is going to be my nerdy question of the interview.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, and it's a long question, and you're going to laugh because of the irony of the question.
All right.
All right, here we go. I'm a fan of songs that are long, 5 minutes and longer, such as Purple Rain, Pyramids by Frank Ocean, All Too Well by Taylor Swift is 10 minutes. A Day in the Life by the Beatles is like 5 or 6 minutes. Runway by Kanye West. You know, I could go on. Typically, songs run under the 5 minute mark. In fact, songs that pushed the boundaries of the 5-minute mark back in the radio days were sometimes taboo in the previous decades, forcing special extended versions to exist in album land. Songs that, like the original 8-minute version of American Pie, were shunned by the radio unless a shortened version could be churned out. The joke of this question is it probably took me 5 minutes to ask that question. But the question that I'm getting to, how conscious are you about the length of your song?
Very, very conscious. You have to be. Unfortunately, you have to be nowadays. Like if I was anything other than a pop artist, like yes, I do electronic music, yes, I do punk music, but ultimately I'm a pop artist. And there is a confine that you have to stick within, and it's unfortunately getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I can attest to both sides. Like you, I love long songs. I love albums that are just like one big song. Take Masterpiece Theater by Marianas Trench. Amazing, like an amazing amalgamation of an orchestrational piece. I love long songs, but my ADHD does not. And a lot of people have ADHD, and it's one of those things where after about a minute or two, you're like, next, okay, this is cool, whatever, next. And unfortunately, with the evolution and the growth, we are insatiable. We are people who need things to be like, go, go, go. I mean, take TikTok, you scroll. And it's just like one thing after another, and we're inputting so much information. It's like, how do you keep somebody for 5 to 7 minutes? Now, I think you can still do it in these days. And I have had songs that are longer. But again, you have to put them on an album. There's a special place for them. And I think that the fans who are probably hanging out in this interview who care about me will sit there and listen to a 7-minute song. But if I were to pitch it to radio, they wouldn't. So typically, it used to be 3 to 3.5 minutes when I first started in the industry, 3 to 4, but then it went to 3 to 3.5. Now it's like 2.5 to 3 minutes, which is wild. And I've seen people with songs that were 2 minutes, which I think is way too short. You can't fall in love with a song in 2 minutes, but I do stick. You'll notice if you look at all my songs, they're all within 2.5 to 3.5 minutes. But that's just because I'm a pop artist and I have to.
But I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is, and again, this is just my nerdiness, is like when you go into the studio,
yeah,
is it that it's like the idea comes first, the lyrics come first or second? Are you always conscious of the time and then you work backwards? Or is it that you come up with the idea and the lyrics and then sometimes it's a longer song and then you're having to like, oh, I guess I need to remove this line and this line. So you're trying to keep it under a certain amount. Or is it that, you know what? A song is a song. Like Taylor Swift is like, fuck, I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
It's a 10-minute song and I'm keeping it at 10 minutes regardless. Like, are there certain songs that you're just like, I'm sorry, this is my vision, these are my lyrics?
100%. So the thing is, if you want to get really nerdy about it, when you go into the studio, there's a format. Now, every time you write a song, it's always different. Sometimes you start with the lyrics. Sometimes somebody already has a track. Sometimes, you have a song already kind of in mind. Sometimes you don't have anything in mind. It's always different. When you go in, for me, typically, we write the music or the lyrics and we just go into it and we start writing. But there's a format. So the nerd side of it is an ABAB format or an AAB format or something like that. Like there's verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge. But bridges are kind of getting taken out now. People don't do bridges anymore. There's a pre-chorus, which I still do in all of my songs, but people don't do those anymore. But there's a formula, and you kind of go into the song. You don't talk about it, but you kind of already know. Like if you're in the studio and you're making a pop hit, you kind of already know, okay, we're going to do a 2 8-bar chorus and that's going to be our leading into our hook. And then, we're going to do a 4/8 count verse or whatever. Typically, you kind of naturally fall into that format. Like for myself, when I'm writing, I do that without thinking just because that's what I'm so used to. But I have had songs in the past that are longer. And I've had producers be like, do you want to trim it down? And I'm like, no, keep it. We'll keep it 4 minutes. That's fine. There's other songs that are, they'll say, hey, do you want to cut it for radio play? And I'm like, you know what? For this, we might have to, because it's more of a pop song and people aren't going to retain it as much. But like I said, there's a place for it. So if you're really passionate and if I really loved a song and I believed in it, I'd say, no, I am keeping it as is. Like, I have a song that I've written, and I'm just going to get a little, not explicit, but this is what it's about. It's called Drape, but the D is in brackets. It's about that experience. And it's a long song. It's a story-driven song. If I were to ever create that track, that would stay true to what it is. I wouldn't cut anything out of it because it's a story and it's a thing that needs to be said as a whole. But when I'm making like a song, like a pop hit, like Bitch, I'm His Boyfriend or 25, I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll keep it within the confines. That song's probably good for radio play, so we'll keep it in the confines, make a clean version, cut it, print it, it's all good. But I'm not against it. I just think that most people nowadays who are in the industry are already subconsciously following that formula.
Well, this is a selfish request on my part. I literally have a playlist on my Apple Music that's literally favorite songs that are 5 minutes and longer.
I love that.
Please, I will for sure add that song, one of your songs, to that list. There's a home for that.
Well, that's good. It's positive feedback as an artist to hear, because in our world as a musician, it's like we get told people don't like that, people don't want that, people don't need that. But it's nice when we hear from the opposite side of it, where they're like, no, we want longer songs. Unfortunately, the majority isn't like you, which sucks, because I would love to make more like longer tracks. But I'm glad to know that there are people who are like, yes, we want long songs.
I would argue that there are a lot of people out there that really like a song to let it breathe. And this might get a little double entendre, but I treat music like sex. Let's get honest here. I don't want it here. Let's get honest. Sex is like, you got your foreplay, you got your warm up, you got the sort of, the fun, the little, back and forth, and then you sort of have the journey, and then there's the climax, and then there's just the, and then eventually, so songs take time to breathe. You need time. So one of my absolute favorite songs, and it's going to date me, is I like a song called Lately by Jodeci, Unplugged edition. Jodeci Unplugged Lately. It's a Stevie Wonder cover song. Google it after for all you young people out there. But Lately by Jodeci, Unplugged MTV version.
MTV, oh, MTV.
It's like 5 or 6 minutes, and it's like warm. It starts off slow, then it starts to pick up, revved up, and then.
Well, I gotta add on to this real quick, because if you're gonna say music's like sex and you got a song like that, you gotta make it your whole experience. Then you gotta have sex while you're listening to this song, and you gotta follow it. You gotta follow it.
1,000,000%. That's what I'm getting at. I was trying to be a little bit PG.
No, absolutely not. We hit the hammer on the head right there.
Pun intended, by the way. But so we're gonna play another song of yours. We're gonna play Galaxy.
Haven't been the same. Our two worlds collide, and it's been better days. Got my head spinning, now I'm lost in space. Got me like, ooh, won't you bring me to the moon? Baby, let's aboard your ship. You can take me on a trip where it's just you and me. We can rule the galaxy, just you and me. And that is all we really need, you and me. We can rule the galaxy. Let's aboard your ship. You can take me on a trip.
I want to be honest about something. I've played this song at least 50 times just today.
You like it?
Not even because I was prepping for the interview, not even because I just love this song. I was showering to this song. I was shaving to this song. I was, calling my girlfriend. I was calling my friends. I played at the office. I did my workout to this song. This song is a part of my life in more ways than one. All in the course of 2 or 3 days. What's the deal with this song?
It's like a little drug, No, it's so good. I love this song. Honestly, as soon as you put it on, I was just like, it's like one of those songs you immediately just want to move to. I wrote this song with a friend of mine who actually lives in Belarus, because I do top line work. So I work with people all over the world and write music. And he sent me this track and was like, I love your voice. I'd love for you to write on it. And immediately I was like, I love this. This is a vibe. And when I was writing the song, I actually wrote it on a TikTok live. And we were making the joke that the song was written about alien sex. Like, that was what it originally was about. It was about, like, having sex in space. And that was it. It was just, like, the whole concept, we were making a joke about it. And then a couple of months later, everybody's like, whatever happened to that song? Whatever happened to it? And I ended up writing it to Galaxy. And I was like, wow, this is actually, like, a really good song. And we've made, like, a dance from it. But, like, it's just, I don't know, it hits a good spot of your brain. Like, you can listen to it doing anything, and it's just like, it's easy to sing. Like, it's my 5-year-old or 6, he just turned 6, my 6-year-old stepson's favorite song. He walks around the apartment going, you and me, Galaxy, and I'm just like, oh my god, I love this. But yeah, it's a good song, but you wouldn't know. It was kind of my nerdy song. Like, I wrote it for my partner who loves, like, he loves DC and Marvel, and I kind of tried to, like, tie in some stuff mixed in with it, and I wrote it, and he's like, I like this song, and I was like, me too. So it's clever vocally, but it's also a good dance song. But as a whole, it's just like, it's entertaining to me that people love it so much, because for me it was just like this random nerdy song I wrote, and people love it. So
awesome. Again, if you're just joining us, we are talking to Nicole Haber, not Haber. By the way, I know I like your the line. I don't know where I saw it, but it's Nicole with a hey, not a ha on the Haber.
My website.
I would also add, because I like hockey, the Montreal Habs. Instead of saying Montreal Habs, it's Montreal Hay.
Okay. I just got sick and tired of it, man. Like, it's, as much as I understand, not everybody, like, reads things the same way or whatever. And trust me, like, I thought, which I'm going to get into a moment here, but I remember thinking when I started as an artist, like, oh, Haber, it's an easy last name. It's only 5 letters. It's probably super easy. The amount of times it either gets misspelt or misspoken is wild to me. And I'm just like, and I never want to correct anybody, but I'm also like, it is my name, so I should, and I should take pride in my name. But I'm just like, it happens so often, and I'm so happy you asked me, because no one ever does. And they're like, Nicole Haber or Nicole Harbor, and I'm like, it's Haber. But that's why I put it in the bio. I was like, I'm sick and tired of people calling me the wrong thing. So I was like, it's Nicole with a hey, not a ha.
This wasn't on my list, but this segues into something that just hit me, and I think you know where I'm going with this. First of all, I think you're being way too nice. People need to learn someone's name. I don't care. I get called Trevor all the time. My name is Trevor, everyone. Trevor, not Trevor. Trevor. Okay. So, anyways, if you're not 100%, it's not a bad thing to ask somebody a question, right?
Or proofread. One thing that pisses me off is when people will put my name in something, like an interview or something, and they'll spell my last name wrong. And I'm like, all it is a Google search away or a social media look away. Like, my name's out there a lot. I actually want to make like a TikTok video, because I have screenshots of how many times people have said my name wrong on things like posters and stuff. And I'm just like, guys, ask 100%. Or do your research. Just look up how to say someone's name.
And don't be afraid to ask. Like I said, I didn't mind asking because I didn't want to brutalize your name, but that also segues into, I made a mistake and I called you she. And you knew where I was going with this. You were kind enough to bring me in as a cameo guest to plug tonight, and just without even thinking, even though I knew
I knew your pronouns. I knew everything. It just came out. I said she. Right away, I knew I made the mistake, but I didn't want to draw more attention at the time. But right away, I texted you. I DM'd you. I apologized profusely. You were being so kind, but I felt horrible. What do you do in these situations? What do we do to make things more normal so a person like me doesn't make a mistake like that? You are being really kind about it, but what's your views about people making mistakes or all this? It's a loaded question.
100%. And like, I'll give a little context for anybody who doesn't know. I'm gender fluid. I'm pansexual. I'm very much a kind of person who is, I just am who I am and I love what I love. I go by all of them. I go by he, she, and they, as long as it's not used in a derogatory way. Because the way I look at it, I'm just a person. When it comes to like science, yes, I have female bits. Okay, I am a lady. But my personality doesn't reflect that. I actually act more masculine than I do feminine. So I am myself. And a lot of the times I say to people, if you want to call me they, that's completely fine. But when you said she, I don't care, because the thing is, the way I see it, and I know not everybody sees it this way, but as long as you're not being a dick about it, there's no reason to get offended. You know what I mean? Like, I've had people be like, she, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. I understood what you meant. I appreciate you acknowledging. And I think you did the right thing by acknowledging that you were like, oh, I messed up. But again, it doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to like, you can say it. But if you're saying things in a mean way or a rude way, or if you're saying like, oh, she this, or oh, they do that, obviously I'm going to be like, wow, that's not okay. But if somebody like was trans and they go by he, but they used to be a she, and if you know that they go by she, and you say, or they go by he, but they used to be a she, and you still say it, a little disrespectful. But if you slip and you go immediately, oh my God, I'm so sorry, that it's just a force of habit, I don't think they're going to be upset with you, right? So it's all how it's delivered. So if it's an accident and you acknowledge it's an accident, if the person's not a mean person, they're going to say, oh, you're good, don't worry. Or if you don't know, they're going to correct you and say, actually, I go by this. And your response is, oh, okay, thank you. I didn't know, I'll address you that. But if you're unsure, and this is what I'll say to the peanut gallery, if you're unsure, just address them as a person. Don't address them as he, she, they. Just say, Nicole, what do you think about that? Or what does Nicole think about that? You can always just address a person for a person, and then they can further say, oh, actually, I go by he, you can call me that. So yeah, I think there's this big stigma where everybody's going to be upset because apparently everybody's offended over everything nowadays. But I think that if you're not coming from a malicious intent, and if you're coming from a genuine learning perspective, no one's going to get upset. Just ask, confirm, try to remember. Trust me, I have friends who I forget that they go by they, and I'll always call them he, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they're like, I know, dude, it's okay. So I end up calling most people dude. Like, that's the thing. Friends and dude is like my go-to. I'm like, hey friend, how you doing? Or hey dude, what's up? I don't address people by their pronouns. So just to kind of avoid it.
Regardless, I felt bad only not because I thought you were going to even have a negative reaction or get mad. I just thought I should have known better, because I did the proper research. I read your bio. I knew everything, but it literally, I was talking, I was excited. You brought me on. You were kind enough to bring me on to do a little bit of a preview. And I just quickly said, yeah, and she's going to be, and literally right when I said that inside my body, I was like, Trevor, you idiot. But I didn't want to, it's sort of like, you were at Randolph, you were a triple threat. They always tell you as a dancer, if you make a mistake, don't look at your feet, it'll draw more attention. Mm-hmm. I was a dancer.
I didn't even notice. I honestly didn't even notice when you said it. I genuinely, then that's the thing. I don't care. I noticed when you're saying it in a mean way. But like, if you just said, oh, she, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Cause I also understand I look like a lady, right? Like when maybe I had my shorter hair, cause I used to have like short-ish hair similar to yours. maybe then people would misgender or like say he, whatever. But I get it. Like accidents happen, and like I appreciate you and the fact that you were so kind after the fact. That shows that it wasn't malicious and that you meant good intent. So obviously I'm not going to be like, wow, Trevor, wow, I'm going to call you Trevor from now on because that's how you make, like I'm not going to do that.
I felt horrible. I really felt horrible.
You shouldn't, though. You shouldn't. Not with me.
Like I said, my whole thought was I didn't want to draw attention, but
Yeah.
right away you were still doing a live. I immediately like texted and DM'd, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
And I appreciate that a lot. And any person who is part of that community appreciates that. And that's the thing I don't think a lot of people understand. It's the simple things like that people are like, people just want to be acknowledged that what they are being identified as is known. And if somebody just disacknowledges it and doesn't pay attention to it or doesn't like ask, that's when things kind of get a little offensive, I think, to them, where it's like, if you would have just said that and I would have noticed and you didn't say anything, I would have been like, okay, tomorrow, can you just make sure that you say that? But I like I said, I didn't see anything about it and you didn't use it in a mean way. So I was just like, yeah, I'm feeling she today. I could do that.
I've been doing amazing. I've been doing well and good today. I've been reading some because there's been people in the chat. I'll be honest with you, have said she, but when I read the question, I've been censoring a little bit, and I haven't said the word she.
I think a lot of people think of me as she. I think a lot of people do, which is interesting because I personally feel more like a he. Like as a human being, I feel like I give off he vibes. I'm He-Man, but I feel like I give he vibes. But, and everybody does apologize to me for it. And I'm like, dude, my outlook is just call me a human being. That's it. Like, I don't care as long as you're not being rude, or else I'll write a song called Bitch, I'm His Boyfriend about you. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, again, that was a bonus question just because it segued into, saying, names and whatnot wrong. So I just wanted to segue to that. But, do you have any rituals or routines when writing music?
Ooh. I wouldn't say I have like rituals. I have a routine. Like when I write, I typically will do this thing. I do it very scientifically. I'm a very like nerdy psychologist major. So for me, like when I write, I do like almost like a thesis. So I'll end up like coming up with an idea, like I'll have a big bolded title text and be like, this is what the song is about. And then I'll end up writing like, these are the sub ideas. And then these are all of the sayings that make sense in the idea. And then I kind of pick and choose where they fit in the story, because a song, in my opinion, is a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I take those moments and I put them in all different places. And that's kind of the first thing I do when I write. That's kind of like a routine I like to do as a writer, just to make my ideas clear and concise. And that's kind of the pre-ritual that I do before I actually get into writing the song. As for like me, like doing any sort of like certain like things, I think I just do like affirmations, just like I'm going to write something really amazing, or I'm going to do something really amazing today. I kind of just go into it though with an open mind. I'd say like get your ideas out there, concise them in a nice little sheet, and then just right away have fun.
Nice. I mean, if people have been watching this live, people are curious probably about the picture in my background. I'm a massive fan of Prince. Nicole indulged me, and I put Nicole on the spot, and Nicole did an outstanding cover of Purple Rain. I'm a massive Prince fan. I had the pleasure of meeting Prince. I went to his concert. When I was a nightclub promoter, I got to hang out with him. I went to Paisley Park in Minnesota. I say all this to say, is there an artist, Nicole, that you have met that inspired you? Or is there an artist maybe even on your bucket list, whether it be Pink or whoever, that you need to meet that will just, help you with this journey, to help inspire you more, or just give you those goosebumps?
Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of cool people that I've met, and they're on a smaller world. Like I've met Rev, and she's a Montreal-based artist, but she's in Toronto now. She was like super motivating. Like when I met her, I was like, wow, this is like a really surreal moment. And she understood like a lot of the writing behind things. But I've met like artists here and there. A lot of people I don't remember. A lot of people I do remember. I mean, I've even met people that I didn't even know I was meeting. I was working an indie week event, or not an indie week event. It was a Canadian Music Week event, the Indie Awards. And I met like some big artist. And I was like talking to him about my dreams, and I just thought he was some random person. And he was one of the winners of the awards that night. It was Tim Hicks. And I was just like, oh, hi. And he actually looked at me and said, keep doing what you're doing. He's like, you're on the right path. And I was like, oh my God. Then that just like genuinely pushed me in a good direction. But I think, as I said in the beginning, the very beginning of this interview, my dream is to meet Illenium. He is an amazing electronic artist. His music speaks to me in a way that, honestly, I don't think any other artist has ever spoken to me. I've been at his festivals and I've gone to his concerts, and every time I go, I feel lifted into the ether. Like, it's a beautiful experience. But I call his music like ethereal EDM. It's just very uplifting. It motivates me. It feels just like very outer body. And my dream in life is to write a song with him and feature on one of his tracks, because I just feel like game over. Like, that my life goal would be achieved. You know what I mean? You have those goals where you're just like, I could die right now and I'd be a happy person, you know? But that's like my one true, like, I need to meet this person in life.
Awesome. Is there a dream performance venue or stage that you really want to perform on, whether it be your home venue, whether it be Sky Dome or Drake's History venue, or Molson Amphitheater, Budweiser stage, or Scotiabank? Is there a dream venue somewhere in the world that you need to perform at?
I just want to do a big major festival like ACL or even like Veld. Like, I want to do a big major festival. Coachella would be amazing. Like, if I could ever play Coachella, I'd be like, this is it. We did it. You know, like I love like sold out arenas. Like, it would be an honor to play, you know, Massey Hall, Scotiabank, Rogers, whatever, or it's not Rogers anymore. It's, then there's Budweiser, all those stages, you know, the big ones. But it would be an honor. And as much as I'd love to do just like a Nicole Haber show at one of these big venues, I think for me, I'm a festival girl through and through. I'm a little rave baby. So like, if I could play one of these big major festivals and just play alongside some other extremely talented artists, I think that's where I would shine. Because for me, the music lasting all day is just like such a wonderful feeling. And if I could do something like Veld, Coachella, you know, ACL, not Burning Man. There's another one that I'm trying to think of, but I can't remember. But like one of those festivals, I think would be amazing.
Awesome. Again, if you're just joining us, please give my awesome guest a follow on TikTok. Nicole Haber, not Haber. Haber, not Haber. Make sure you give Nicole a follow. I'm going to be selfish. Make sure you give me a follow. Keep double tapping the screen. There's a share button on the bottom of the screen. We've had over 17K people like this live. That's pretty cool. Maria has been watching this interview since the start. Papa John has been watching this interview since the start. Alexis has been watching this interview since the start. Papa Dave, I know you're a massive fan. I'm going to keep shouting you out, Papa Dave. I want to play another song, the last song that I want to play for you, because you know your own music, Nicole, but I want to just brag about your music.
You gotta.
So I want to play this awesome song, Bitch, I'm His Boyfriend.
Feels like I'm in a movie. This shit's a high school drama. Stop acting like you know me. Pity party with your small town drama. She changes her mind like some toxic strategy quoting on my lines. I'll take that as flattery, flatter me. You're still in love with my boyfriend. Bitch, I'm his boyfriend. But we're not gonna be friends, 'cause I'm his girlfriend and you're the enemy. Respectfully, baby, you're the enemy. Stop trying to beat me.
I want to abort this interview and just play the whole song, but for time, I want to cut it there. But before I get to just you telling me the thoughts of this question, I watched this music video 20 times today, Nicole.
Hey, okay.
I watched this video 20 times, and it looked like such a fun day. Like a fun day shooting the video. So don't just talk to me about the song, but talk to me about the music video. I recognize so many spots in the music video.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Talk to me about this music video. It was such a fun song, everything.
It was a stressful music video. I'll start with that. It was like one of the most fun music videos we created, but the whole behind the scenes that nobody else knows is it was one of the most stressful projects I think I ever worked on. I mean, this whole song was one of my most stressful projects I've ever worked on, because it's very personal to me and my story and what's going on in my life. But the music video, we actually had to reschedule it the day of, because it was supposed to rain, and then it didn't rain, so it was just like we lost. So the scene with all the roller skating, we had like a bunch of extras, and we had to recast everybody literally in a day because nobody could make the new day that we pushed. So we had to take the day off, refilm, and everything about it was just stressful because we had all these like permits and people being like, you can't film here and this, that, and the other. And we were like, but we can film here, I promise. And yeah, it was just like crazy, but it was such a fun music video. And my inspiration came from Avril Lavigne's song, Hey, Hey, You, I don't like your girlfriend. I wanted to play me, but also my partner's ex-girlfriend. I was like, I need to do both. And I came up with this idea of putting me in this like blonde wig and being this bitchy girl and just being like, yeah, he's mine. He's actually really mine. And that was like where my girliness came through. And then my persona, like myself, was just more, yo, what's up? This is me. And it was funny because I came up with all of these ideas, and I remember like pitching them to the director, and he was just like, I love every single idea of what you want to do here because it's so ridiculous. And I always do this thing when I make videos where I'm really good at conceptualizing videos and visuals, but at the level that I'm at and the money that I make or that I have is never enough, because I come up with these crazy huge concepts that look amazing, and I'm like, I need this, 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 and this, and they're like, well, you got some lint and a pencil crayon, what are you gonna use? And we made it work. We made it happen. It was like a crazy, we had this long story fit into this 2.5 minute song. And yeah, it was super fun. So anybody who hasn't seen it, the song, it's basically me playing my partner's ex, and then me playing myself. And it's me going out with this person while the ex follows us the whole time and tries to ruin our day or tries to mess with me and just kind of just destroy the whole thing. And then by the end of the song, you find out she's crazy and she's got like this layer that she's throwing darts at my face and voodoo and all that. But it's really funny. It's really ridiculous. It's very early 2000s. And yeah, honestly, it was very budget friendly, very stressful, but turned out to be one of the best music videos I think that we've ever put together.
I think you might think I'm joking or exaggerating, but I did play it over 20 times today. I showed it to my coworkers, a couple of my friends. Just watching the video, preparing for this interview, it just looked like such a fun shooting day, and like it just looked like you guys were not just being actors and actresses. The facial expressions did not look like acting.
Well, most of them were friends. I mean, the people when we were skating, I didn't know a lot of them, but we all became friends that day. Like, we were all just like, I told everybody, I said, just have fun. We're going to go like roller skating. Everybody have fun, And the guy who plays my partner is actually my fiance. So him and I are very like that anyway. So, and like I said, this actually did happen. If you want the tea really quickly, that music video is pretty true to the original situation of what happened. So we didn't really have to search very far to find the feelings and the emotions.
Awesome. What is one thing you wish people knew about you as an artist?
I would say that I wish people knew that, like, this is a loaded question. It's a tough question. It's loaded. That it's not as easy as it seems on the front side. I think from a viewer's perspective, a lot of people think being a musician is easy and being an artist is easy. And I don't want to make such a broad statement to say that everybody thinks that, but I think like a lot of people who don't know artists or have no idea about the industry are like, they think that like when you're a content creator or a musician that you're copying out, that you're just taking advantage of the system to make money or something. When realistically, like we don't make a lot of money. We work our butts off for like nickels and pennies. And there's a lot of work that goes into it, especially like from my perspective, I don't have a business team. So I'm in charge of putting together those music videos, writing the music, releasing the music, doing the rollout plan, creating all the social media content, constantly promoting myself and marketing, pitching for interviews and radio stations. And on top of that, still manage to be a human being and enjoy the art. And I think like a lot of people who know nothing about the industry don't realize that there's so many components and hats that somebody has to wear. Like we can't just write a song and put it out. Because everybody's like, oh, why don't you put out an album? Like, why don't you put out a song? Why don't you do this? And I'm just like, I would love to do that. But unfortunately, it's not that easy. It takes years. It takes time. It takes so much pitching and grant writing and show prep and whatever. Like, there's so much. I think my favorite one is when somebody comes on in my live and goes, when are you going on tour? You should just go on a tour. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying. I would love to just go on a tour, but do you know how expensive it is to travel from city to city or country to country or province to province and plan out your travel, plan out your venues, make sure that your band's getting paid, make sure the show is perfect. And there's so much behind the scenes that people don't see. So that's one thing.
My last question with you, because I know you're a busy person. I know you have a TikTok live to get to. Are you currently working on any new music? Are you working on any projects that you're open to revealing to our viewers tonight?
So I have tons of stuff in the works. I'm currently in the process of putting together a tour for the end of this year. We're going to be doing a cross Ontario tour from 10 to 12 locations. So that's really exciting for the end of this year. And hopefully moving next year, we'll be able to do cross Canada. But obviously that takes time, like I said. As for the music, I have a couple of songs that I'm working on, one of which is named Unfiltered, which is basically just being unapologetic and being authentic to yourself. And then another song called Sucker, which is basically you're a sucker for bad habits. It's a little bit more Beaches vibes. I don't know if you know the band The Beaches, but similar to their energy. But those are in the works as of right now. I'm currently putting together time to create a 4 to 5 song EP. I don't know when that's going to be put out because I'm working on that with my producer right now. Unfortunately, he's crazy busy, so we're recording it. And as soon as I have that recorded, I'm going to be putting it out. But later this year, I will be recording an EP and releasing that hopefully within the next year or so.
I said that was the last question, but one last question that popped in my head. What are your thoughts on covering other artists' songs? Like, do you like it? Do you hate it? Like, it's rare for me to like a cover of an original song, but it does happen. I do like No Doubt's cover of It's My Life. There's other covers I like, but it's rare. What are your thoughts about covering another artist's work?
Yeah, so actually I'm going to go back to the last point a little bit because I forgot to mention as well. I have a new song as a feature coming out in April. So everybody can look forward to that. We've got a new song coming out in April with Insulin and Dashi. But this actually leads perfectly into that question because I'm currently working with an EDM producer who does strictly covers and wants me to do covers with him. I think if you execute them well, they're great. I think like I would like to make a couple of covers. I've never done one because I've never felt there's a song that I would crush enough to professionally put it out. Now, I've done a lot of covers. Obviously, you've seen me on TikTok, on YouTube, all of that stuff, and on social media. But I feel like if you're going to make a cover professional, you better be damn well good at it. And it better be the best. It better be almost better than the original, you know? So I have a couple of songs in mind that I'd like to do. And I think that doing a cover is dope and fun. And I think that in the future, I'd like to try to get a cover or two done professionally, maybe with this EDM producer, which I think like in the EDM world, like covers are great because you completely change the song by putting a totally different spin on it. So I think we'll probably do some of those. But yeah, I think if you're good at it, why not? I know that it is stressful though to do covers, and a lot of artists don't release covers because there's a lot of royalty situations and a lot of back and forth with if you can, and sometimes you have to take it down, and you got to be careful with making it too similar or not similar enough. And there's a gray area, I want to say, with that. And some people put out covers and they're great, but I know there's like a lot of lawsuits and stuff as well when it comes to that.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I cannot thank you enough for your time. We said we were going to do an hour interview. It did go 30 minutes over. I apologize. Don't kill me. It was an hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to give you the final word, though. What would you like to say to not only your fans, but probably some new people that got to discover you tonight? What would you say tonight to your viewers tonight?
I will say the same thing I always say, because this is one thing that I feel everyone needs to hear on a daily basis. You are not alone in your journey. You are never alone in your journey. A lot of people are, and I say this because my whole music is about, you know, the journey, the life, the situation. And no matter what you're going through, we're all experiencing the same things, maybe just a different layout, maybe just a different path or a different narrative, but everybody goes through the same stuff and we're all here for one another. So lean on everybody, lean on the music that you listen to help you heal, lean on other people, lean on yourself. And just remember that you are never alone. You are always protected. You are always cared for. Somebody out there cares about you and what you're going through. And if you feel like no one is, and this is where I guess I'll shamelessly plug, but not really, listen to my music, because I write songs for the misfits, the outcasts, the loners, and the people out there who feel like they have no one supporting them in their corner. So if you need to feel like you're connected to somebody or you're going through it with somebody, all of my music has a message, has a journey. The lyrics are always meant to make people feel positive, uplifted, and optimistic. So remember that you're not alone. You have people in your life, and if you don't have people in your life, you got me, you got my music, and you can always listen to that and resonate how you ever see fit. So
you're in the elevator. You have 30 seconds to tell someone that has never heard about you before, never heard about your music. You have 30 seconds and go. What would you say?
I think Taylor Swift and the Chainsmokers had a baby, and that baby is Paramore. That's it. That's it.
And how can they get your music?
They can check me out on any streaming service. I'm on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, YouTube Music, all of the streaming services. You can find me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And yeah, I also have a website, Nicole Haber Music. And if you want to know more, you can just click the little name in my bio, or my name right here. Go to the link in my bio. My link tree has literally every way that you can connect to me.
TikTok. How often do you go on TikTok? When a lot of people have been following you tonight.
Almost every day.
And is there like a certain plan? Do you generally go on around the same time? Like, how can people find you?
So if you guys want to tune into the live streams, I go live daily at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do take like one day off, usually Tuesday or Wednesday, but we do lives every day. The only day that we do something a little different is Sunday. We do a sub Sunday live where that's only available to the subscribers to the channel. That's just my thank you for them being so supportive and being the super fans. But yeah, you can check me out here. I post content daily on all my services, and then I stream daily on TikTok, and I'm always there. I'm always out there. You can find me. I'm always there.
It's 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Are you going to do any bonus live content tonight, or is anyone?
I am going to go live right after this. I'm going to do maybe about an hour and a half. My goal is to stay on till 10 tonight. So if you want to hop on, obviously don't leave Trevor because you want to hang out with Trevor because Trevor's dope. But
I'm coming over to your live.
Come hang out. We'll sing songs. My whole goal with my live streams is to brighten your day, make you smile, make you laugh, and you know, take away some of the stress of your day. Also, may I ask a final question to our peanut gallery?
Yeah.
How are they feeling on a scale of 1 to 10 today? I love to ask that question. And how are you feeling, Trevor?
I'm just feeling so happy and blessed and motivated, and my creative juices are flowing. You
So we
can
feel
probably,
like a 10?
a 10 times 1,000. You can probably attest to this. When you're surrounded by positivity or motivated or entrepreneurs, positive bursts of energy, your blood flows, right?
Oh, yeah.
I just love surrounding myself with positive.
It motivates you. It motivates you to do more. And that's the thing. That's why to me, live streaming doesn't feel like a job. I love doing it because I'm brightening someone's day. I'm making someone happy just by singing and just by talking, you know, like that puts me in a space with positive people. And we're a safe space, we're a safe space. Let's say that 10 times fast. Safe space. So like for me, that brings me joy and that makes me want to do it, you know? So when the day is like everyone's chit chatting, going back and forth, I'm like, oh, I love this because we're just motivating one another and working with one another.
Bandit feels 8. Papa Dave is 9. Maria is an 8. You know,
I love that.
7, 9. Everyone's giving their number. I discovered you because I was scrolling, and I just like the idea that you're just at your keyboard, you got the mic in front of you, and it seems like, I could be wrong in this, but you seem like you like to be challenged.
I do.
And I always just watch it, and then you were kind enough to do a Purple Rain cover when I requested one. But has anyone sort of put you on the spot? You're like, damn it!
All the time.
Oh,
This
really?
is the thing. All the freaking time, man. Because I put myself in this situation where we wing it and we sing it and we get what we get and we don't get upset. I sing everything. People have asked me to rap in the past and I say, if you give me a big enough gift, I'll do it. And I have no problem with it, but I get challenging songs all the time. And I always tell people, sometimes I'm going to butcher them. Other times I'm going to kill them, but just don't be too hard on me if I don't know the song and I don't kill it. But there has been one day I remember I was feeling not so well because I've been dealing with health issues. And I said to my team, I was like, I love you guys, but you know I'm dealing with some serious health struggles right now. Stop asking me to sing powerhouse heart songs that I can't do right now. Because I actually was like, we need to stop. We need to stop. We need to chill and just give me calm, cool, collected songs.
Well, honestly, Nicole, I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to kind of get into your creative space, and I'm literally getting goosebumps because you're exciting me and motivating me, and I just love being around creative energy. So I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to ask you some questions. I apologize for going a half hour over.
You're good. You're so good. Thank you for having me. I just genuinely love when people want to have a conversation and talk about not only me, but like the art and the work and the music. And I was really happy that we crossed paths on TikTok. And I have to say as well, you look great. The suit looks great.
I was nervous. I wanted to look good for my guest, and I asked the audience, jacket, no jacket, jacket, no jacket, but I appreciate it. But I hope you like some of the questions I asked.
Yeah, absolutely. Every question was amazing. Like, you've asked me some questions that I haven't actually had to answer in an interview before. So that's how I love that. When people surprise me with questions that I'm like, that's a fun feeling because you're put on the spot. So I loved every single one.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. Everyone, give Nicole a follow. Give myself a follow. Make sure you give Nicole a follow because Nicole's going to go on her live, or see, I just did it again. There's live. Nicole is going to do a live right now. Make sure you watch Nicole's live tonight. I'm excited. I'm going to go over there myself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to everybody who watched the stream as well. Make sure you are following the host and supporting him as well, because he's doing it every day and he's killing it. So
thank you, Nicole. And yeah, I want Nicole to do the Canadian national anthem, not tomorrow morning, but a morning someday.
You just tell me, make a day, tell me you're coming on this day, and I will. I just have to prepare for it. I gotta sleep.
I hope you know the words of the anthem.
I do. People have requested me to sing it, so I do actually know. Not the American, but only the Canadian.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks very much for your time.
No problem, love. Do you want to kick me or should I kick myself?
I will respectfully kick you gently.
Thank you. Kick me gently out the door.
All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, Nicole.
All right, that was Nicole Haber, not Haber, Nicole Haber. That was my interview with Nicole. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a great time doing it. We played some of Nicole's jams. We had a good time. We dove into some questions. I thought we were supposed to do like 30 minutes, an hour. It kind of went an hour and a half, but I hope Nicole was fine with that. But all is well. Anyways, thank you, everyone. Bye. I'll probably come back in a little bit. I'm going to go change. I'm going to talk to my girlfriend for a little bit. Maria, thank you for watching from the start, Maria. Maria, I thought you were just going to pop on for a minute or two. I appreciate you. Alexis, thank you for being a good mod during the broadcast. Thank you. Nicole was outstanding. Maria, again, I thought you were just going to be on for 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you for hanging out, and I hope you gave Nicole a follow. I hope you added Nicole on your playlist. That was amazing. Nicole's music is outstanding. I'm looking at Nicole's TikTok. I know Nicole is going to go live on TikTok soon. So yeah, make sure you give Nicole a follow on TikTok. And yeah, I'm going to go off for a little bit. I'm going to change. I'm going to call my girlfriend and say hi to her. But yeah, we will chat in a little bit. I'm going to change and talk to my girlfriend, but I'll be back on. And yeah, maybe give Nicole a follow. All right. Bye, everyone.